In a quiet forest, there lived a hard-working little rabbit and a thoughtful squirrel. The little rabbit was always busy. From sunrise to sunset, it collected knowledge. It memorized the patterns on every leaf, the names of every flower, and could even repeat all the stories told by Old Owl. But it never stopped to think about what these things really meant. One day, little hedgehog's fruit rolled into a narrow crack between rocks. The rabbit quickly flipped through its forest survival guide and read, "If fruit falls into a crack, use a stick or vine to get it out." But since the rabbit had never practiced, it fumbled around. The vines were either too short or tangled and ended up pushing the fruit even deeper. Little Hedgehog sighed and walked away hungry. The rabbit felt confused. "I know the answer, so why couldn't I help?" Meanwhile, the squirrel loved to sit on a high branch, staring at the sky and thinking. It wondered where the wind came from, where the river ended, and even imagined what was above the clouds. But the squirrel never read books or asked other animals for advice. Its ideas stayed floating in the air, with no real foundation. When winter came and food was scarce, the squirrel decided to build the perfect storage room. It spent 3 days drawing plans, calculating the best way to store nuts. But when it finally started gathering food, most nuts were already taken by other animals. Worse, since it had never learned which nuts spoiled easily, many of its stored nuts rotted quickly. The squirrel stared at its empty storage room, frustrated. "I thought so hard, so why did I still fail?" One day, Old Tortoise saw their struggles and said, "Learning without thinking leads to confusion. Thinking without learning leads to nowhere." The rabbit and squirrel finally understood. The rabbit slowed down and started thinking about what it learned. It practiced using sticks with woodpecker and tying vines with beaver. Next time little hedgehog needed help, the rabbit could not only explain but also solve the problem. The squirrel began asking others for advice. It learned storage tricks from ants and how to pick fresh food from bees. By the next winter, its storage room was full of good nuts, with a clever design that kept them dry. All the animals were amazed.
From then on, the rabbit was no longer confused and the squirrel no longer just daydreamed. They learned true wisdom needs both learning and thinking. And so the animals of the forest understood. Only by combining learning and thinking can one go far.